Hi, I'm Daniel with Art Cyclery, and today we're going to go over how to adjust SRAM Yaw front derailleurs. SRAM Yaw front derailleurs have the same basic adjustments as any other front derailleur. You have an inner limit screw, an outer limit screw, a cable anchor, and the braze-on anchor. That braze-on anchor is going to control the height of the derailleur and the angle of it. For illustrative purposes, we're going to go ahead and release this cable anchor. Just assume that you had just installed this derailleur and we're starting from scratch. So the first thing you need to adjust is the height. So you want the tallest chain tooth on the chainring to be 1 to 2 millimeters away from the bottom of this cage. So you adjust that here at the braze-on anchor. And don't worry so much about the rotational adjustment. We'll tackle that in a minute. Alright, so the next step is to turn this inner limit screw in while you pedal the bike and get it to shift up into that big chainring. And then that's going to help us with our starting point. So for alignment on SRAM Yaw front derailleurs, there's hash marks, one at the rear and one at the front. So we want these hash marks to be lined up with our large chainring right down the middle. To get the lateral adjustment right with alignment, you'll use the inner limit screw. To get rotational, you'll adjust it right here at the braze-on anchor bolt. The next step is to adjust the outer limit screw. So we're going to turn it in until you feel it bottom out, then back it off about 1/8 of a turn. Our next step is to anchor the cable. Pull up on the cable, shift the shifter into the large chainring, and that's going to put the cable in the right position since our derailleur is already locked into the large chainring. Alright, just pull the cable tight, tighten down the cable anchor, and you're set. So now we're going to adjust our inner limit screw. And before we do this, we want to release the cable of the shifter, so as if we're making a downshift. And make sure you get, there's 2 clicks. There's one, this is kind of a trim, and then another that goes all the way down. Then we're going to back off this screw while we pedal the bike, and we get the bike to shift. Then we need to shift the rear derailleur up into the largest cog. You see how it's rubbing there in the front, so we're going to continue to back this off. So back off that screw until you hear the chain not rub anymore. Now just eyeball it and take a look at it. Make sure that you have the derailleur as close as it will get to the chain without it actually touching. And that'll put you right in the sweet spot. So now we'll just do some test shifts. See how it's working. See if it's kicking down, going up. And it's not quite going up as well as we'd like unless I really hold the shifter in. So that tells me that the cable anchor adjustment's a little off, so I need to get the cable tighter. The way we're going to do that to make it a little bit easier is we're going to adjust it now down in the small chainring. That's going to make take some of the tension off the cable and make it a little bit easier. Alright, so just loosen up the cable anchor bolt, pull the cable tight. Sometimes using needle nose pliers will help to get that cable pulled tight, but I don't like to do that on these SRAM red cables because they have a Teflon coating and the pliers will tear that up. So once you got that tightened back down, you're good to go. Alright, so we'll do some more test shifts. You want to do this in a variety of gears in the rear because they're all going to shift a little bit different. Now I can hear that this one is, the front derailleur is rubbing just a little bit when we're in the small cog in the back. So the way that we'll fix that is by backing off this outer limit just a little bit. We'll just go about 1/4 turn and that should take care of it. Here we go. You can always use those hash marks as a guide. Make sure you got it in the right spot. Alright, so now we're going to shift it all the way up into the large cog and check for rubbing or to see if it's going to want to fall off the chainring. And see right there, it's about to fall off. So that means that we need to tighten up this inner limit just a hair. And we'll try again. And that's better. It's consistently downshifting, but it's not going to fall off on you. Now we'll just install our chain watcher. That's going to go right here. Use this little 2.5 millimeter Allen to thread it into the braze-on anchor bolt. And I like to push it towards the frame before you tighten it down. So with the chain shifted into the small chain ring and the large cog in the back, we're going to adjust our chain watcher. Now we want to get this arm as close to the chain as possible without it actually touching. That way that the chain won't overshift and fall off. So we'll turn this adjustment screw in, and that's going to pull it in tight. And I'll just turn the crank here to make sure that it's clearing, and we're all set. So that's how to adjust a SRAM Yaw front derailleur. To learn more about how to work on your bike, check out our other Learning Center videos.